Aparajita Sengupta of Smell of the Earth. Well, Aparajita, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So, for our viewers who have not heard about Smell of the Earth, what is Smell of the Earth?
Well, Smell of the Earth is a platform for food and environment activists in and around Kolkata. We have a community-supported agriculture farm that's part of the Smell of the Earth platform, but that's not all we do. So people who are interested in issues of chemical-free, sustainable food and its relationship with the environment are part of this platform. We hope to bring people together to make positive changes for the food system and the environment of Kolkata in the future.
How long have you guys been around working in Kolkata?
Not very long. It's been a year actually, this month in October it's been a year. That's when I talk about the CSA farm. We've been farming for a couple of seasons in the past year.
Okay, so what is the scope of your work and what do you want to address in Kolkata?
See, first of all, a lot of people in Kolkata are now concerned about how much chemicals are there in their food, and rightly so. So our concern is that people, even though they see the problems, they don't quite see the solutions to these problems, right? So if I'm looking for chemical-free food, what do I do? Now, added to that is the fact that these chemical foods that are causing so much harm to our body are also causing a lot of harm to the environment. So unless we address the issue of food and environment together, it is never a holistic solution. So to produce organic food in a way that harms the environment in other ways is not sufficient, right? So in order to address problems that we see around us every day, we will have to think about food systems that are local, seasonal and sustainable at the same time. So that's what we want to spread more consciousness about. It's not merely about getting, chemical-free vegetables from the farm. It's about understanding how to make real changes to your own life so that you have a positive impact on the environment, or at least help reduce some of the harm that you're doing to the environment.
Okay, so you telling that you've worked in Kolkata for roughly a year and what you want to address to the people. How do you think the people of Kolkata are open-minded to accept this kind of a change in their lifestyles for the betterment of the environment and themselves as well?
See, when we talk about the environment, we usually think that it's an issue for environmentalists to address. Okay. It is an issue for activists to address. You and I, we will go by, we'll go about our ordinary lives, and some people out there will care for the environment. But that's not true, right? You and I, doing what we do, living our lives the way that we do, we are harming the environment every step of the way, whether or not we want to accept that, right? Throwing away plastic stuff, using more and more plastic, participating in a food system that calls for more and more chemical inputs every single day, driving more, walking less, all of these things affects the environment. So it's about making changes to your own lifestyle that matters. We can make very minor changes to our lives that will overall have a large impact on the environment. In talking about the response, I feel that from our group particularly, we've had amazing response. People who saw our article on Telegraph, complete strangers called us up and said that we think it's a wonderful thing that we're doing and how can we get involved. And it was the second part that was much more moving to us, right? So it's about getting involved. It's not about us as an organic farm growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Nothing could be worse than that. It's about more and more and more people thinking about growing their own food, more and more people thinking about chemical-free food systems, local economies, and sort of participating in that, becoming involved in their communities. So when people ask me how do I get involved, I tell them try and grow your own food as much as you can, even chilies, tomatoes, whatever you can. That has a very positive impact on the environment because you're lessening transportation, you're lessening your own carbon footprint. So we've had amazing response, but I think in terms of mindset, there are a few things that need to be addressed. And first of all, there is the overwhelming question of what we deem valuable. And I think at this time of, this environmental crisis that we're seeing around us, 30% of the kids have respiratory illnesses in Kolkata, more next year. We see all the trash piling up around us. We know that the water we drink is not drinkable anymore. It's becoming worse and worse. More and more people are buying water. We can see, trees disappearing. Different forms of birds that used to come here just going away. And once again, I will say that that's not merely for environmentalists to address. It is for us to realize that the only value that exists in this planet, on this planet, is the value of natural resource. That's all that we have. That's the only way that we can make products. Unless we have natural resources, we don't get products. So in getting more and more attached to products and the economics of money, we have sort of moved away from other conceptions of value, and that's a deep, deep psychological change that we need to go through as citizens of this otherwise beautiful, lively city. We need to ask ourselves what is valuable here and sort of reposition ourselves, our lives, our philosophies depending on that.
Okay, so coming down on a personal note, the vegetables you use for your daily consumption, are they the conventional produce or it's from your farm?
Well, when I'm running the farm, everything that I eat comes from the farm,
okay.
Right? And I don't eat out of season. So I have to buy potatoes because I don't grow a lot of potatoes. I don't have the space to grow a lot of potatoes on the farm. But everything else is seasonal. I don't buy tomatoes year round. So I will eat tomatoes in the winter and then preserve tomatoes, either puree them or sun dry them or whatever, and use those for the rest of the year rather than buy tomatoes that were grown 6 months ago and are being kept in
cold stored and cold storage distribution channels, and we get.
So I try to eat as seasonally as I can. Sometimes it's not possible to eat. I'm quite stringent about these rules, but so I try to make sure that whatever I'm eating is local, has not traveled thousands of miles to get to me. And is seasonal, so it was not, it did not burn a lot of energy in storage or transportation.
Okay. A line for our viewers.
Well, how about a story? This story comes from a friend, and this is from Kenya, I think, where they say that there was once a fire in a forest, and all the animals came out of the forest to stand outside, and they were watching helplessly as the forest, went up in flames. And then they saw a little hummingbird go back and forth, bringing water, trying to douse the flames. So all the other animals, the bigger animals, were really confused by what was going on. And the elephant stops the hummingbird to say, "What are you doing?" And she says, "I'm trying to douse the flames." And the rest of the animals say, "Well, you're a small hummingbird. How will you douse this flame? It's impossible. You should really give up. It's no use. You're just wasting your energy." And the hummingbird said that I am doing the best I can. So that's what I say. I'm doing the best I can. It doesn't matter what other people's choices are. It does matter. But to a certain extent, I will have to keep doing what I do, doing the best I can, and hope for the best.
Well, we hope the best for you and our viewers as well, so that they can learn from this, start growing their own vegetables and the things that they need for their daily livelihood. And if you have any queries regarding how you'll move about, how would you like to grow your produce, get back to us. We'll have Aparajita here with us, so in order to address all the queries that you have, and I think she'll be more than happy to address your queries, as she said, because she is leading the entire thing by example. So get inspired, get alive, and be eco-friendly.